Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Burly's World. I wanted to bring you right to the sunrise that I am enjoying about 7:30 in the morning here in Corpus Christi. It's beautiful, and I thought I would like to share that with you guys. And I thought, well, this is a great time to broadcast another message. I wanted to cover some things. I keep getting a lot of the same questions over and over and over again, and I thought, okay, this would be a great time to answer those and put it into the series. I'm getting a lot of why questions. Why are you selling the properties? Why are you buying mobile home parks? Why in Texas? Why do you got to travel so far? So I thought I'd cover a few of these because I keep getting asked the same questions over and over again, and I totally understand the questions and why they're getting asked. And I thought, let's see if we can cover a few of these now, and I'm sure there will be other questions later, and we can cover those as well. First is, why am I selling the properties? Okay, the properties do make money, but they don't make as much as they should. I have a lot of equity in these properties. So the two that I sold and the one that I have listed, between those, there's about $750,000 in equity, roughly. But that equity doesn't pay me anything. That equity is just sitting there. It's kind of like a bank account that you never take money out of. You say, I'm going to save, I'm going to save, and 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 I'm never going to take money out of that account. Well, if you never take money out of it, do you really have it? If you don't give yourself access to it, is it even useful? And so it's trapped money that doesn't earn me a dime. It feels good. It feels great, if I needed it, just like if you had a huge savings account that you never touched, if you needed it in an emergency, you could tap into that and you could use it. But if your rule is never use it, then it does nothing for you. So that's the predicament I was in. I had a lot of equity. It wasn't making me money. The properties made me some money, but honestly, when you figure out expenses that come up that are let's say unexpected, those three properties together might make me $25,000 in a year altogether. Like I said, stuff comes up. You gotta replace a roof, or you gotta replace a rotten bathroom floor. There's 3 months of unrented tenancy on a unit while you're fixing it up or something like that. Things happen, and so profits go down versus what the numbers might tell you it would make. So these properties, all three of these together that I'm replacing, they're worth over $1 million. Let's say $1.25 million roughly. And you'd think if you were holding $1.25 million worth of real estate, that you'd be making pretty good money on it. Well, if I'm telling you right now that in this case, by the time it's all said and done, the three of them probably make me $25,000 a year. So nothing super astounding. And like I said, I've got $750,000 in equity on these properties that's just sitting there wanting to be utilized, and I can't if it's in the property unless I pull it out on some sort of an equity line of credit or so that's the reason. That's the why of why I'm selling. Then comes the question, why not in Oregon? Why not nearby? Well, I looked all over. I was looking for replacement properties. The problem is that my properties are expensive, but so are all the other properties out there. Everybody wants, the top price for their properties at this point. And so I'd be replacing my property for something kind of similar. Every once in a while, you can find a better deal, but I wanted to really go outside of the box and really maximize my cash flow. So I not only looked in Oregon, I looked at our neighbor in Idaho. I looked in Washington. I've got some family in South Dakota, and they invest as well, and so they know some of the areas where they live, and I thought, well, that's a great resource. And so I communicated with them and was looking at properties out there. I looked in Montana. I looked in Oklahoma. I have a friend who actually invests in Oklahoma, sold their Oregon properties, and that was one of the eye-openers to me, was that people are successfully doing that. You gotta obviously have a good infrastructure in place, have good management in place, have good communication in place, but they sold all of their properties in Oregon and reinvested in the Oklahoma City area, and they have done very well. They're very happy with that, and that they've been doing that for a decade. So that gave me a little boost of confidence that yes, it can be done. It can be done successfully. I mentioned in another video that I had made some mistakes investing out of state in the past, and I wanted to avoid those. And so again, that is one of the reasons I am out here in Texas right now. When I was looking in Oklahoma City area and I began to look in different cities in Texas, I did find a better value for the dollar. That's just what I found. Let me just say, I am not telling anyone here to do what I'm doing. I don't want you coming back and say, hey, I tried it and it didn't work out for me. Listen, do your due diligence, all right? Don't put it on me. Do all your due diligence. That's what I'm out here doing right now. I ran a ton of numbers before I ever came out here to make sure it was worth my time to come out. It was. I'm here. I'm doing more due diligence. We're working deals. But I'm not telling anybody you should do it the way I'm doing it. It's just the way I chose to do it for the goals that I have in mind. So the third question I get is, why mobile parks? Why? And I wasn't really looking for mobile parks when I first started this search. So just to be clear, I wasn't hunting for mobile parks. That came up on my list, and I thought, well, okay, let me look at some of the numbers. I'm not familiar with mobile home park ownership, so let me see what all that entails. To me, in the end, it's sort of like buying an apartment complex. You're giving homes, affordable homes, affordable places to live to people. You have multiple tenants on the same property. You tend to pay for some of the utilities like water, sewer, garbage, something like that. And so those things are similar. You have, multiple people living on one property that have to get along. You often have a manager on site, but not always. And so that's how I view it now, sort of as I have come to a better understanding of what it's all about. Now, mobile home parks, some of them you just rent land and people put their own mobile homes on them or manufactured homes on them. The ones I am buying, the parks actually own the homes. They're older, they're smaller, they're not the higher end manufactured homes. They're the smaller single and double wide and lower cost, and the park happens to own them all. So instead of charging just a space rent and then the other person, the owner of the manufactured home, paying their mortgage to the place they bought that home from, it's just simplified. It's just rent for these folks, but it allows an affordable housing option for them. Those are the three questions I get. Now let me give you the fourth why. When people don't understand my reasoning, I'm just going to throw some numbers out at you, and maybe this will give you a little bit better understanding. I am trading. I mentioned earlier in this video the three properties I've sold or am selling. We're generating maybe $25,000 a year in income, and in true, after I pay for everything, mortgage payment and everything, income. The three properties I am replacing them with out here, if I add everything up, my income after paying everything, water, sewer, garbage, maintenance, taxes, insurance, mortgage, will be about 150,000. So I'm turning 25,000 into 150,000. Now that gives you a better understanding of why I'm taking the time, why I'm doing this. I hope it does anyway. And sorry, I was in the shadows there. And so hopefully that gives you a better understanding of why I'm doing this. Like I said, I am trying to retire myself from my business, so I needed to replace that income. And so that's why I searched high, low, left, right, east, west, north, south, every direction to find deals that would check off all the boxes, had green lights going all the way through every time I would do due diligence, and would provide the income that would allow me to retire myself from my remodeling business. Doing these deals does. I still have other properties that I can sell in Oregon and reinvest, whether it's in Texas or elsewhere, and that may be on future videos, because I'm certainly not opposed to doing that. But I'm concentrating on these 3 deals right now, and wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update and a little bit more insight into why, and why. So I hope that helps. I'm going to walk the beach for a couple of miles this morning before I head off to another meeting with a property owner, and I will look forward to talking with you guys soon. Have a great day.